So welcome everybody. Today we are going to talk about Nepali cinema in Europe and especially in France. And it's organized by Alliance Française and European Union because it's Europe Week 2022. I would like to welcome everyone and thank you for coming today to speak about this subject.
We don't have that long history regarding cinema. I think we started more in theaters and other activities in art than cinema. But as being South Asian, we are highly influenced with our neighboring countries and their cinemas. We dwell more into the outer space of the script and characters rather than like European does in other way. So we like, I think, more drama, bit of action, included with the songs, and full package of entertainment for 2 to 3 hours.
We are very close to culture-wise and civilization also, how the society grows up. We are much more close with Indian film market. And when you talk about Indian film market, it's Bollywood. Now, in contemporary time, we have South Indian films are much more influential in Bollywood market and Nepali market as well. And historically, 60 years of our film era. So now we went through celluloid to digital. So now the approach of filmmaking has quite advanced, and we have that opportunity to discover world cinema as well. So we are following the world cinema technology path and development and narrative format as well. So it's I can say very proudly it's a golden era of our Nepali cinema, which is going in the very positive direction.
Before, like in the 90s, when we were highly inspired by the Bollywood, we would, most of the people would go to the theaters to watch the cinemas. And it was for the sake of entertainment, like what Arpan said, with drama, fights, songs. It was very formula based. But I think post-pandemic, that has changed very drastically. People do want entertainment, yes, but they also want to watch movies that are based on real life stories. And we have come up with very few, those kind of movies also. I know Arpan, I know Surbana, them trying and attempting to do those kind of movies. But at times I think we are not ready for that. We fail in the box office, my movie included. So what I feel like is, though we are ready for it, I don't think if we have the audience to watch these kind of movies, they all want to be entertained. Yes.
I just want to add up something. I think Nepalese audience now seek for easy watching. Say YouTube is a big platform for Nepalese film. As soon as it gets out of the theater, the movies are released in YouTube. Because we don't have OTT platforms, unlike like in India or worldwide, like Netflix or Amazon or Hotstar, Disney, you know. So post-pandemic, I would say we've been exposed to such great content that it's a pressure for Nepalese directors, producers to, well, I wouldn't say to match, but to at least come up with our own original content. It is super duper it's so pressurizing now, you know, because now whatever happened in 90s, as Karma said, is not going to work. We all know about it.
To be in cinema nowadays, for me as an audience, I have to encounter, or I have to enjoy the cinematic experience of the cinema to fully enjoy the theatric experience. So all the movies that are coming up is not to that point. Some are story-based, some has a bit of a more concentrated form of stories, which I can watch in my mobile, laptop, or television. But there are movies like, say, Spider-Man, or like even Dune, or those kind of cinemas, or like, say, Blade Runners, and so many things. Even if you talk about Avatar and all these things. These are the cinemas that you can really enjoy in cinemas. And people will love to watch those cinemas in cinema rather than sitting at home and watching in small laptop.
Just speaking as an outsider who hasn't known Nepali cinema long at all, but is now heavily involved in it, I loved the fact that when I first got involved in it, there was such, everyone depended on the Nepali audience so much, and Nepalis actually went to go see the cinema. In Australia, they don't. We don't go see our own films, and we rely very heavily on export and spreading around the world first, before it becomes popular in Australia. And if the audience is changing now and you want to tell a different story, I do believe that not relying on the Nepali audience, especially if it's not the story you want to tell, and really reaching out to markets like Europe or reaching out to different festivals and things is a great way to develop the industry.
I'm really into European cinemas. It's just because I like the movies that dwells on the inner conflict of the characters rather than the outer space of the storyline. So which is the reason why still today around the world European cinema is somehow saving the art version of it's that category, this art cinemas, as we are very familiar with the word. So whereas other cinemas are more commercially inclined and they are focused on more box office rather than saving the art in itself. European cinemas are easy to forget and it stays with you for a long time. So that is why it is still encouraging filmmakers to be a real filmmakers, I guess. Thank you.
As a 90s kid, I grew up watching Bollywood movies for sure, and yeah, Hollywood movies. Much later, when I was doing theater in about like 2004-05, one of my teacher, Pravesh Gurung, who is in Bombay now doing Bollywood movies, introduced us to European cinemas so that we could learn how they make cinemas. That's when I watched this movie called Bleu, Blanc, Rouge, French movie, and I felt like, wow, this is something different. Okay, this is something like we do in theater, they are doing in movies. So those were a few very inspiring times then. But then later on I discovered other European movies. One of my favorite would be Roberto Begnini's Life is Beautiful. I was blown away with it when I watched that movie, and I didn't know about it for such a long time, which won Academy Awards and many more. And then came cinema Paradiso and followed many other movies. So that's how I got introduced to European movies. And like Arpan said, I look forward for European movies more than any other movies from any other part of the country. Also because it's very realistic art house movies that shows the inner depth perspective of a human life or a story. So yeah, until now also if I get a chance, then I would not miss European movies.
When I went to France, I saw cinema is culture there. In Nepal, film is not culture here. Theater, other dance and other things are represented as culture. But in France, I saw cinema as an art and culture. So basically, when I was child, I used to watch lots of Oscar-nominated movies, Cannes-nominated movies, but many were from France or Europe, I think so. The movie Malena was also from Europe because that movie struck me for many years for me. So what I want to say is European cinema is about human emotions, the inner conflicts, all as told by Arpan and Karma. But I think Nepali movie, Bollywood movie, Hollywood movie are more commercial, and for instance, Hollywood movie only makes films about the outer space, sci-fi movies. It tells a story of saving the world, saving the human race. But Bollywood films, Nepali films, we are making to try little human emotion movies, little society movies, you know. So.
Well, I think a lot has been said already, but regarding the discovery of European cinema, I got this opportunity to travel to Germany in 2009, and and that is when I was really exposed to European cinema there, because I loved the culture of how they have theater in even a little village, like the culture of going and watching the cinema. And it's just part of their lives, So that is when exactly I discovered it is such a big influence in people's life, the cinema in Europe. And then later, 2013, when I went to France to study acting, that is when I was like literally guided and went to movies, like literally movie watching was the primary thing that people do there, Art, theater, cinema is like such a integral part of their lives, which really, really influenced me a lot.
I was lucky in that case because when I come to Kathmandu from the rural part of Nepal, so I get a chance to get in the French Culture Center in '94. And that time I get entered there as a trainee in the theater. So I participated in the workshop and act in the play. And that time I started to frequent French Culture Center, and there I discovered the film like Le Château de ma mère, Le Gloire de mon père, Robbie Jacob, all films, comedy, and in the French film library, the things that I discovered that. And for me, that time I realized that there is not only Hindi film exists in the world, there is other film also. Other countries also, they do the films. For me, it was discovery. So after I continue with the French culture, and I discovered a film like Bleu, and Un monde sans pitié, and it was very romantic types films and all. So it was like, okay, there is a Hindi film which are all melodrama things and music hall type, and there is some films is different, and they speak different language, different format. There is not interval, and that type of things. Okay, there is some two world I discovered, and I am very lucky that I moved to France for my study, theater study. I did École Florent, class libre, for 2 years, and I pursued my career as an actor, and after I realized that I have to do something in the film making also. So I get in La Femis for my initiation course in direction for 6 months there. So it was experience for me like discovering European film. When you talk about the European films, it represents film from France, Italy, Germany, and maybe Scandinavian film also, Danish film also, and at that time, Hungary, they were very good in filmmaking. Romania is come later. Hungary was very good in that time. So I get chance to discover all those films from all neorealism film from Italy, Vittorio De Sica, Fellini, Rossellini, that kind of films, and new waves from France. Truffaut, Godard, Chabrol, Jean Eustache, all. So it was for me like I am just swimming in the ocean of the film, and where there my film vocation started. So I was privileged in terms of I speak French, and I pursue my film career there. That's the thing. So that makes me change my perspective to see the films and approach. What I'm doing now is much more Occidental. So even my colleague, my friend circle, sometimes they almost reproach me. Your way of making films is not for us; it's for international market. What? That surprised me, because we could be more intelligent. Why only European people? We could be intelligent and transmit something which is universal.
Amour is one of the, there has been so many French films and European cinema which has really left mark, and always feel like, wow, why aren't we making movies like that? Because it's all about human emotion at the end of the day, right? And for me, it's Amour. It was out in 2011, 2012, I think, when I was just, watching the world cinema, especially European cinema, and that's when I happened to watch Amour, and it just influenced me and motivated me so much as an actor or as a filmmaker or just as a human, that our cinema can really move you, and how. So I think Amour is that one film. If you want just to name one, that would be the one.
All the movies by Jean-Luc Godard, right? That's how you pronounce it. And like having coming from theater, I would like to, I'm just adding on to that, I like to see, like I did few theaters by, plays by Yasmina Reza, God of Carnage, which was made into a movie, Carnage by Roman Polanski later on, and then Art, also by Yasmina Reza, which I did play in 2018, and then, The Little Prince, by Antoine Saint-Exupéry, if I pronounce it right. So these are I think, another theater plays that I would like to see made into movies. Yeah, thanks.
I don't know the director, but I pretty like the French film Emily, because I watched it a long time before. I don't know the director names, but I'm pretty much influenced and fascinated by the work of Luc Besson. Later on, I found he was French. I went to his theater, which is near the airport, Paris airport. Yeah. So I'm very much fascinated by his work, Luc Besson.
I think I came in a different way to French cinema because I'm not from Nepal. So I kind of found it by accident, and a lot of it was comedies. First, like Green Card and Tuxedo, and they were all over the top and very raunchy when I was a kid, and I was like, French cinema, wow. But then it was things like Fifth Element, City of Lost Children. Favorite French film, though, would be The Diving Bell and The Butterfly, probably, which is a beautiful film.
La Haine, because Vincent Cassel is my always all-time favorite French actor. He has been done really, really well around, like even in Hollywood and things like that. So movies like Venus in Fur, La Haine, and Rust and Bones, Bones and Rust. These are the movies I've been quite familiar with French cinemas, but not too much with the work of directors, apart from Federico Fellini, back old days.
Well, I think all the filmmakers knows that Cannes is one of the most prestigious film festival around the world, the young Nepali filmmakers are really pushing it to be recognized in World Cinema Forum, they're really coming up with the unique storyline, because Nepal can really have, I believe, the grandness, richness of culture and heritage that we have, and that we can make and show it to the world. We really are capable of it, but there are some things that's maybe not in our favor all the time, But still, the young filmmaker, like if I have to name right now, Min Bam comes to my mind, who's really pushed it so much. and introduced Nepali cinema in a different way to the world again. Deepak Rauniar is another name I shouldn't miss. And then a lot of filmmakers, and me myself, I feel so proud. This year we are participating in Cannes. One of my film that I'm executive producer and an actor is going to Château film, which is another great achievement, I would say, for us as a young filmmaker. It's like a door opener. I don't know how far we'll go with the script, but we've been invited to pitch the project to the French producers, which is itself so great, And I think we are really heading towards right direction, and we're really motivated, we're really influenced, and finally we are in the verge of making the cinema that we actually want to be part of, which is a big deal, and what better platform than Cannes itself, so yeah, thanks.
Talk about Cannes, it values and appreciate movies that dwells on human relationships, internal conflicts, small-scale stories, not that big studio filmmaking styles. They even appreciate the independent art house way of filmmaking things. So which is the biggest advantage for us is because we can stay or stick with the basic storyline and make a great film that can be appreciated with the festivals like Cannes or Venice or like say Berlin or so many other festivals. So for us, I don't know about the bigger influence how the Cannes is making around the world. For me as a filmmaker, being in this part of the world, I've always looked towards Cannes more than the Oscar itself, is because the way I like to make the films, the way I write the films is highly influenced, and I believe can have a space for my kind of cinema in Cannes. We will appreciate maybe, and then have something more to tell over the world through the platform, I guess.
Many things as told by Arpan. During the shoot of last show, I happened to participate in 69 Cannes Film Festival. It's I don't know what to say. It's a very prestigious festival, great environment over there. It's every actor's dream to walk the red carpet at the Cannes. I don't know what to say. It's every actor's dream.
Right. And the closest I've been to Cannes is when I was in Pigalle, where Min was there for writing his script in the Cine Foundation. Yeah, I was lucky that I was there for a week and got to mingle with few world-class cinema filmmakers. There were a few who had already won the Golden Bear in Berlinale and this and that. So that is my closest encounter with Cannes. But yes, definitely someday I would like to take my movie, be there, walk the red carpet. I was about to send one movie this year, but unfortunately the deadline has already, we had crossed the deadline, so we couldn't. But in future, definitely, like Arpan said, more than Oscars, I would look forward to taking my movies to European film festivals, be it Cannes or Venice or Berlinale or any others.
Yeah, for me, Cannes Festival is like a ceremonial, ritual things that every filmmakers from around the world, they unite there for renew their friendship, relationship, business, and business perspective for the future and plans with producer, co-production and the things. And since many years, I'm just rehearsing Marché au Palais, rehearsing with smoking. Maybe one day I come with my film there. So I'm just rehearsing. Three, 4 times I went there with smoking things. It was my practice. So the very day when I go with my films, I don't get nervous to pose thousands of camera flashes and the things.
Well, in 2015, I got this great opportunity thanks to Min Bam. He really encouraged me to go and audition for it. So the director, Serge, I'm so sorry, you know it. It's so difficult to pronounce his family name.
Hazanavicius.
Serge Hazanavicius. So he was here with his crew to shoot with the very popular actor Keba Dams. Was here, and they were looking for a female character. It was a very small guest appearance kind of a role, but still was a big deal for me because it was a European film and a French film in particular. So I went. In fact, such an irony, this was the hotel where I auditioned for the film, and this is exactly where I auditioned, this exact location. So I auditioned for it, and Serge was really happy because he was looking for a feature like mine, and he was like, okay, we'll get back to you. And in 2 days, his production designer, his casting agent called me and said, okay, we want to cast you in the film. And I was just so awestruck because, you know, no matter, for an actor, it doesn't really matter how much time you're spending in that film or how much scenes you have in the film. It really matters of you're taking a step ahead as an actor. You're experiencing something that you've never experienced in your own industry or you dream to do, you know. So it was almost a week with the crew. So we had to literally go to Ladakh to shoot because they're scheduled to shoot here in Mustang and to ABC was done. So I had to fly to Ladakh for my shots. And the way they work, they're so organized. They're so ready for the next day. Nothing changes once it's there, like whatever is in the schedule. And the way they're so, they exactly, you know, like, because I've really felt this, though I've worked with so many different kind of directors in my own country and in my industry, but what matters the most is the vision of the maker, what he or she is exactly doing and what he wants to achieve with that vision, right? That still lacks in so many filmmakers that we have in Nepal. But that's what I found the most impressive. They exactly know what to take out from an actor and how much to take out. They know your capacity right while you audition for it. I mean, that's the kind of a vision I think every filmmaker should really have. And that was just one experience that I did. And after that film, you know, I was more inclined towards French films or European films and, you know, in general. So yeah, it was just one hell of experience, I can say. Yeah, thank you.
So I have to remember my director Ludovic Berna because he auditioned me in large part, and luckily I got selected. Luckily, I don't know. But the experience was very nice. They do lots of paperwork before pre-production. They know exactly what to take after 2 months. After 2 months, this date, they will take this shot and this scene and everything professional. They have one day off at the shooting. In Nepal, we don't have that. They only shoot for 8 hours per day. So all professional, all so managed, so beautifully done. I remember in the Mount Everest part was done in Mont Blanc, in Samuni. So every morning you wake up, you ride the chopper, you go to the set. Every evening you come back with the chopper, you know. So, and I also remember the main actor Ame Sila and Ludovic Berna still were in good touch. We are talking about the life and future projects. Like they have very good bonding, you know. They motivate me. They see good actor in me like that. I missed a lot of them.
I did audition for both the movies they are talking about, but unfortunately I didn't get cast. But no problem. As an actor, you keep on trying. But recently, French director Marc Gurung, who is a Nepali by origin, he wanted to do a short film, and we were prepared to go shoot in Corsica. Yeah, but unfortunately, because of the pandemic, everything had to be postponed. I've not had an experience yet of working with a French director or any European director, but hopefully soon.
I just want to add up, and so lucky that now French agency has signed me and Colette.
Yeah.
We are super lucky to be signed by a French agency, and that gives us so much hope that we'll be doing more projects, French projects, and experiencing grander and bigger and more unique content in terms of work. So yeah, really, really thankful to Colette. Thanks.
Thanks a lot for being here today. And yeah, I hope to see you soon again, and maybe in France for your new project too. And we will have also Marc Gourung speaking, Colette from Agence Colette, Min Bahadur. Yeah, so.
Merci. Thank you.